Hi all. I've got a simple question. And that is, if you dismiss part of what you think is true, and then dismiss another part, and then dismiss another part, and then dismiss another part, at what point should you simply say, I dismiss this text? And I ask this because, as pretty much everyone knows, when you pin a theist down, especially a Christian, on any concept, their inevitable answer is going to be, speak to so-and-so because they know it better than I do, or, well, that was metaphorical and or only correct in the original historical context, cultural context. The reason I have a problem with this is we're constantly told that it's the Word of God, that it's a holy book, that it's divinely inspired, that it's written by prophets. Da 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 da. And then they say, well, you have your holy books too. Generally my answer to this is, you're a fucking idiot. But then I ask, what the fuck do you consider my holy text? Well, you read science books. Yeah, I do, and I read a lot of them. This one is a 2-year out-of-date book. Just 2 years. Maybe 3 years, actually. The information is still good. There was just more information to add to it. But let's say that this section... Oh, I know. Actually, I know exactly why this one is out of date. It lists Pluto as a planet. At that point, when it was downgraded, we had to get rid of this book. And the next edition, this is second edition, the third edition, didn't list Pluto as a planet. And it had slightly more information. Actually, nothing new changed, really. So, let's say this part deals with Pluto. Rip it out. I've still got a text that will explain the world around me. There's the difference. Let's say that this section had to be ripped out. The rest of it would still help explain the world around me. And if somebody tried to pin me down, I could say, well, look, there's a map. It shows what we're talking about. There is an image of the largest volcano, in fact, the largest geologic feature on any planet anywhere that we know of. Oh, look, that's what a lab looks like. See, you could call this a holy text if it really makes you feel better, but it wouldn't be true. Now, the Christian Bible is something altogether different, because you get some that call it a holy text and then say, but we don't believe in Genesis, which is good. I mean, that's a really good starting point, because it's the most ridiculous fucking book ever written. And don't get me wrong, it's in my top 5 of my favorite creation myth. It's number 5. It's a good story, just as I like Hercules and Odysseus, Romulus. I mean, I like a lot of the old stories. It doesn't mean I'm going to worship them. So, let's say you've got this Christian that says, well, you know, that part isn't true. So you get rid of it. And then you point out there was no flood, as Chattius Spike too. My favorite flood producer, flood video producer. you know, they throw that one out. Oh, well, okay, that's not true. And you point out there's no history of Hebrews even being in Egypt. Okay, we'll throw that one out too. There's no evidence of singing around a wall and causing it to fall down. Okay, we'll throw that one out. And blah, 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 blah. And you go through it. And by the time they're done saying that that part doesn't matter, they're left with around 40 pages. 40 fucking pages. Why don't they just throw the whole goddamn book out? You know? If a single chapter of this book were proven false, if a single chapter were even in serious question, or even in moderate, even in light question, I would throw this book out. No issue, no problem. Man, no hesitation. This thing would hit the curb faster than pretty much anything I could imagine. Because nothing offends me more than a false book. So, why would a person base their life on a book that they are fully willing to deny? That they are fully willing to admit is not true and has no current relevance. I mean, yeah, in a violent, disgusting, warlike, male-dominated, goat-herding society, it might have had relevance, but that doesn't make it right. I mean, seriously, it's a book where God tells you to go into towns and slaughter everyone except the young women and girls whom you are to rape, to beget more of your own, to go into new places, to murder and rape. And if you don't believe me, please read the fucking thing. Numerous places. In fact, nearly every battle in the Old Testament is directly based on slaughter every male of any form, including animals, and take and rape the females of breeding age. It's a pretty fucking disgusting book. But, you know, it gets me thinking, because I'm on Gravity now as Fiddler. And you know, it just strikes me that so many people jump to the defense of a book they don't personally believe in. Why? Just why? At what point do you finally just divorce yourself from that book? At what point do you say, you know, this book about Santa Claus just doesn't suit me? At what point do you stop trying to sleep early on Christmas Eve? You know, it's pointless. It's stupid. And I seriously don't get it.